Hi. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I start off every website project that I get. So I have a starter site that has all of my plugins installed on it and all of my CSS frameworks installed on it. And my CSS frameworks are is just things like color, size, sizing, like padding, margin, things like that, H1 tags, paragraph tags, all of those things. It's all set there in a framework. I use that on every site, and that ensures consistency across that particular site and consistency across all of the sites I build. It also gives me the ability to build these sites really fast. So let me show you what I do here. So I use something called Local by Flywheel, and so I keep it on my local drive on my computer. And so here's my Oxy master. So this is my starter site. So let me show you what that looks like. So I have it launched over here, and you'll see right here it's oxymaster.local. Now, this is just one page, and I use this page to set up all of my elements, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So if we go into, I didn't want to go into Oxygen templates. I wanted to go into pages. So here's my home page. I'll do edit with Oxygen. And once this opens up, I'll show you everything that I got in here, and how it makes and explain how it makes the site build fast and consistent. All right. So if we look at the structure panel, and when I set this up with these settings, these boilerplate settings, is that it actually makes it what do you call it, responsive across all screens right off the bat. I don't need to go into each screen setting and set a font size, and I'll show you how that works right here. So this right here, let's look at the front end real quick. Let's just open it up in a new tab. So I have something here called What the Font, and what it does is if it's a Chrome browser extension. So if you hover over this one, over the text, it'll tell you what it is. So in this case, it's Open Sans, and if you click on it, it'll give you more details. So we got Open Sans, weight 700, size 48, and line height 62 pixels, and the color gives you all the information you need to know about it. But that's not what I want to focus on. I just want to focus on the size right here. So this is at full screen desktop browser now, and at 48 pixels. Now, if you take the screen and shrink it down, and we use What the Font again on it, hover, click, you'll see it goes down to 35 pixels. And that happened dynamically. I put one setting in there, and that will work across. And I did that with all my fonts. So with the H1s, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the paragraph, you'll see the same thing works with the paragraph here. Down here, Open Sans, 400, size 18. If I shrink it down, check it again, it's size 15. So that's a range. So it goes from 18 down to 15. Okay, now let me show you how that works. And I just put one font size global setting in there to make that happen. So if we go in here and we look at headings, and so here's my H1 heading, and you'll see over here, let's see, does it show? Okay, it's not showing me font size over here. But if we go into global settings over here, global settings, headings, now H1 font size, you'll see that it's not set for pixels, it's not set for rems, it's not set for any of that stuff. I'm using a function called clamp. And what it does is it sets a range based on your largest so you enter largest and smallest. And let me show you how that works. So I have a calculator over here, and I set it up for rem because that's how I enter my sizes, whether it's padding, whether it's margin, and font size. So in this case, I have it set from 48 pixels being the largest size, 32 pixels being the smallest size. And then it's also going to be relative to your viewport size. So from 32, 320 pixels wide for phones, and 1,750 for large screens. But that actually is not correct because that was for a different website I was working on. So let's look back here real quick. We'll go to width and breakpoint, and this one is 1280. So I'd come back here and put in 128. And the reason I'm not putting in 1280, I'm putting in 128 is because it's multiplying by 10. So 128. I don't really understand exactly how all of this stuff works. I just know it works. The results are what I'm looking for. So what you do is you come down here once you put in your your numbers here. Down here, it creates the function, and it is, and just get this middle piece right here. You don't have to worry about any of these things out here. So it's just this. So it's clamp. So 3.2, 32, and the largest is 4.8 rem. So it's 48 pixels is what that would translate to. And then it does a calculation here in the middle. And so as the screen size changes, it calculates that and just does it for you. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So I put that in here, and that's what this is in here. Okay. And I did the same thing for my H2. My H2 goes from 38 down to 28 and so on. So that's how that works over there. And I also use this clamp function for padding as well. And I'll show you where that works. Let's go back to all settings, sections and columns. So the padding on left and right, I have it set at 2 times 10. At this point, it's going to be 20 pixels left and right. And then on the top, and that I left it that way. I didn't use clamp there because I want that to be consistent through everything. That doesn't matter. But on the top and the bottom, so for example, here on desktop, I have it set, let's see, I don't remember off the top of my head. I have it set to 10, so 100 pixels top and bottom for desktop. But then as the screens shrink, so on the smallest screen, it's going to go down to 60 pixels top and bottom. And this is responsive across the whole site. These are global settings. So as I'm building my pages, as I'm building out my sections, I don't have to go in there and see, okay, on desktop, it's going to be 100 pixels. Okay, let's go to the next screen, do a media query. In tablets, it's going to be 80 pixels. And down to the phone, let's go down the phone, another media query, let's get it down to 60 pixels. I don't have to do all of that. It's taken care of for me. Speeds up the build process quite a bit. So I'm not going in there and doing all of that stuff. So that's that. And the reason why it's multiples of 10 and the way I set that up is that I put in my style sheet over here, I put in a CSS called HTML font size, and I shrunk it down to 62.5, which brings the base font size down to 10. So everything in this site is going to be a base of 10, and do that just to make it easier for me for doing stuff like using rems. So I don't have to sit there and figure out, okay, what is 2 times 16 or 5 times 16 or any of those things. You know, I can't do that kind of math in my head. But by 10, it's pretty easy. I can do that. So that's what this does. This sets the base size down to 10 as opposed to 16. Okay, so that's the basis. That's the foundation of my font sizes, my padding. So I never have to think about that again as I'm building my site. So that's that. All right. Thank you.